What up, YouTube? I am Dom Knight. This is Knight Talks, and we are back with another burning question for you, alright? So, you know what we gotta do before we get into the video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, hit the little bell, so you know when I drop a new video 3 times a week for you, alright? Still trying to hit 100 subs by July. Go with some size miles on the prize, help me out. So, last week I did a reaction to a video. It was a Fresh and Fit podcast, and it was about things that a woman must have in order to date one of the guys who runs the show. And one of the things he said was she cannot have social media, and you know, he lists his reasons for that. If you want, I'll link that video down if you want to see that. But so I thought this would be an interesting question for today. So let's get into the question. Question of the day is, has social media ruined relationships? Let's find out, alright? So, I'm not going to try to make this too long. Let's jump right into this, alright? So let's get into that education, okay? So first things first, we all know what social media is, but for the people who live under a rock, I will tell you what social media is. Social media is websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Pretty simple, such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you know, Twitter, etc. All right, there's a bunch of them out there, right? So, in regards to relationships, all right, I found something online, and they had some negative things that go into social media and some positive things in regards to how they can be in a relationship. So, I'm gonna start with the negatives, all right? Number 1, social media can create unrealistic expectations. Although there are some useful resources shared via social media, what you will mostly see are curated and filtered posts that only highlight unrealistic images of what a relationship is, says sex and behavioral therapist Shaman Ajan. Attempting to measure up can distract you and your partner from the relationship. Inevitably, real life won't look like the endless highlight reels we see on social media, which can lead to disappointment in either yourself, your partner, or both. You may begin to feel jealous of how much someone posts about their partner and feel resentment towards your partner for not doing the same thing. The lifestyle you are scrolling through may change how satisfied you are in your relationship because they seem to be better than what you have. Number 2, it can lead to jealousy. Some research has linked social media use with increased jealousy in relationship dissatisfaction in college students. If you are prone to jealousy because of an insecure attachment style, research says you may be more likely to get stuck in a cycle of endless scrolling to keep an eye on your partner's activities. People may get upset seeing their partner liking or commenting on other people's posts, stoking concerns that their partner is interested in other people, or worse, is already cheating. The use of Facebook, in particular, has been shown to increase feelings of suspicion and jealousy in romantic relationships among college students. This effect may be the result of a feedback loop, whereby using Facebook exposes people to often ambiguous information about their partner that they may not otherwise have access to. For example, cookies and Facebook algorithms can cause a partner's hidden interests to pop up on their feed. The desire to find more information about them could perpetuate further social media use and feelings of mistrust. Notably, many of the studies have been conducted on college students, so it's possible that there will be a difference among older couples. Now, I'm going to comment on that. That goes for any couple in any age range. It's not just college students, all right? I know older couples who do it. They get mad over something on Facebook. Facebook, let's keep real, Facebook has kind of become young people still use it, but the old folks have taken over Facebook. So yeah, it's no age range. It goes from teens all the way up to the 60s. So if you on social media and you liking a bunch of girls' posts, yes, your girl is getting pissed off, all right? Just know that, okay? Let's move on. Number 3, Excessive social media use is linked to couples fighting more. 2013 study found that among couples who have been together for less than 3 years, spending more time on Facebook was linked with more Facebook-related conflict and more negative relationship outcomes. One study found that those who are doing people who overshare on social media tend to have a lower relationship satisfaction. Though, positive posts about the relationship itself now and then seem to mediate that effect. Number 4, social media might make daily life seem less interesting. The drool-worthy image of a couple on vacation can trigger feelings of envy, which can keep you from appreciating where you are in the present moment. Social media tends to ignore the gritty and mundane parts of a couple's lives. Now, struggles, chores, compromise, and intimacy in the midst of challenges. These small mini triumphs are valuable. Just remember, a vacation can make you feel happy, but it's the everyday moments that lead to the ultimate satisfaction. When relationships end, it is so often those tiny, mundane moments that evoke the deepest nostalgia. It's interesting. Number 5, it can distract you from spending quality time with your partner. Though internet addiction and Facebook addiction are not considered mental health disorders by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, researchers recognize both as dependence issues, which can interfere with quality of life. The more we become hooked on the dopamine rush of social media, the less engaged or excited we will feel for the quieter, simpler moments of life. But those are often the moments when our loved ones reveal something personal and intimate. Next time you and your partner are together and both focus on your phones, bring awareness to that. Practice valuing real-time connection over the internet. This can help increase emotional intimacy. I agree with that. You know, we got our phones all day. You're hanging with your partner, try and keep it to a minimum. Number 6, it can affect our mental health. Even though social media is meant to promote connection, multiple studies have linked social media use with loneliness, mood disorders, and poor self-esteem. People pre-existing mental health issues may also be more susceptible to social comparisons due to a negative cognitive bias. One study found, on the flip side, lower social media use has been shown to reduce loneliness and depression symptoms. How about that? Though these issues are more individualistic than relational, they can bleed into romantic relationships. When a partner is suffering from mental health issues, they may be closed off to intimacy or become codependent. Social media does seem to be having some effects, I think, with some of the youth mentally, just from things I've seen in real life. But number 7, it can lead to body image issues. The filtered and edited images you see all over social media can cause insecurities about your own body to surface. Several studies have linked social media use and body image issues. A person's body image issues can significantly affect their relationships. One journal of the International Society of Sexual Medicine study shows that heterosexual women with body image issues have a harder time becoming sexually aroused. Another study found that the way wives perceive their own sexual attractiveness based on a negative body image directly affects the marital quality of both the wife and the husband. In other words, these insecurities triggered by social media can interfere with the emotional and physical intimacy and overall quality of a relationship. One more negative, number 8. It can make us more narcissistic. Excessive social media use is linked to narcissistic traits in some cases. Research confirms that an addictive social media use reflects a need to feed the ego and an attempt to improve self-esteem, both of which are narcissistic traits. And different types of social media play into different aspects of narcissism. For example, people who frequently tweet or post selfies may be displaying grandiosity, one of the common traits of narcissism. Since you can be narcissistic without having a personality disorder, it's possible to develop these traits over time, and at least one small study has found excessive social media use may be a trigger. And of course, being in a relationship with a narcissist is not healthy. It can lead to trauma later on. Alright, so those were the negatives. There was a lot there. There was a lot to unpack. So, I think they hit a lot of these things on the head. I think that was a good list I found. You guys can let me know, but I think you guys could all agree that a lot of that stuff is real. We've all seen it. You guys know people who've dealt with it, or yourselves. You may have dealt with this stuff yourself. But there's always two sides to every coin. So let's talk about the positives, all right? Number one, social media helps single people meet each other. In the digital age we live in, it's not uncommon for people to meet online or through dating apps. In fact, it may be more common. A 2017 survey found 39% of heterosexual couples reported meeting their partner online, compared to just 22% in 2009. A later study analyzing the results found that internet meeting is displacing the roles that family and friends once played in bringing couples together. According to a recent Tinder survey, online dating can be especially helpful for the LGBTQ community. Of 1,000 LGBTQ adults who took the survey, 80% say that online dating and dating apps have helped their community. 52% feel more comfortable being themselves, and 45% says it's easier to explore their identity. Number two, it can keep you connected to your partner. Whether it's sending a funny meme over Instagram or taking a quick Snapchat, social media is an easy way for couples to interact throughout the day in a fun, low-pressure manner. This is particularly helpful for couples who don't live together and people in long-distance relationships. According to a survey published in the Cyber-Psychologically Behavior and Social Networking Journal, young adults in long-distance romantic relationships are better able to maintain them if they are using social networking sites. People who have their partner in their profile photo or have their relationship status public on Facebook also tend to be happier with their relationships, for what that's worth. Does that really matter? If you ask me, that does not matter, but whatever. Number three, you can learn about relationships from experts. There are plenty of accounts that offer up good information to help develop and maintain a healthy connection. There's a lot of good information on social media from relationship bloggers, psychotherapists, and many others that highlight how to improve your relationship. As long as it's coming from a place of growth and not comparison, this type of social media can motivate you to work on parts of the relationship that have been neglected. Hey, I'm kind of doing that. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm none of that. I'm just a guy who can look at two sides of a coin and really take my time and understand situations. Also a guy who is very understanding and patient. So I just have a good mind to sit, think about things before making rash decisions. But I'm no expert. So they're right there. Number four, it's like a time capsule of memories. Social media platforms have particularly replaced printing photograph albums as a place to store and share our memories. In this sense, Page says, social media can be used to honor the activities you do and the things you create together. Unlike a physical photo album, social media has the added component of followers. In this way, social media can be an institutionalized way to express love publicly and invite community support, both of which enhance a couple's ability to flourish. Yet again, I don't get the correlation. Maybe it's something I don't stand because, like I just said, I'm not an expert. But that's what I got. There was only 4 positives. Okay, it was 8 negatives, but only 4 positives. That's what they had. So I was gonna break this down a little further. Social media, it plays a huge role in our world today. It's everywhere. It's all over. Most people you know have it. All right. So I'm just gonna share my thoughts on social media as a whole, because I think this goes in deeper than just whether it's bad in relationships. is social media just bad in general? I'm using a social media type platform right now. Is this bad? But let's break this down. So, my thoughts on social media, the pluses. Let's talk about those first since we started with the negatives earlier. Keeping up with old friends and family. One thing I personally love about social media is it gives you the ability to talk to people you do not get to see on a daily basis. Friends, family, whomever. You get to see them, you get to interact with them, and it's just a lot easier sometimes than calling them, texting them, whatever, but you still know they're doing okay, and that's a really cool thing, I think. All right. Making new connections. Social media has connected me to a bunch of people I would have never met had I not been using social media. And I think that's a really cool thing. There's lifelong connections that can be made there. I recently made a friend. I don't know this person, but now we're friends. We've been talking through social media. You know, we have a common interest, so that's been cool. Social media can be really dope that way, you know, and just like they were talking about earlier, it's a way to meet people, especially if you're shy. You know, not everybody's a social butterfly who can go out and just talk to whomever, okay? So, next one. Being able to express yourself freely. I think a cool thing about social media is it gives you the power to 100% be yourself. And there's gonna be people like you that are going to follow you, that are going to like what you're doing. They're gonna mess with the stuff you're putting out, the content you're putting out. Just because people may have hated on you in high school or hated on you in middle school, now you have a platform where you can really be yourself and find people who are not gonna hate on you. There's always going to be haters everywhere in real life and on social media, on the internet. People are going to hate on this video. People are going to hate on me. That's cool. I don't care. But one thing is, some people are going to like it. Some people are going to like me. Some people are going to mess with this video. So with that said, it gives you the ability to be yourself. I'm being myself right now. This is who I am, you know, and if you guys don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to look. You don't have to subscribe, whatever. Appreciate it if you do, but if you don't, cool, if I'm not your cup of tea. But this gives me the ability to be myself and put out the things that I think about, the content I think about, the conversations that I have with people on a daily basis. So I think that's really cool. All right. Another one, money making opportunities, man. People are getting rich on social media. I'm trying to make some money off social media. Everyone. If you have the ability to do it, if you have the business mindset and the patience and the work ethic, man, you can make something happen for yourself, right? That's a really cool thing. The internet in general has given our generation, people around my age bracket, and actually it really doesn't matter how old you are. Now, there's people who are disconnected from technology, so it's a little tougher for them because they can't use the software, but hell, down from young kids to people in their 50s and 60s, they're making dough off the internet. You know, you can sell things, buy things, you can market, you can do so much. There's just so many opportunities, and social media has been a big engine to drive this stuff. And social media has changed people's lives. People who never would have thought they'd have an opportunity to come into real money, to make something of themselves, to make a business for themselves, to set up a legacy for their family, you know? So I think that's one of the coolest things about it, you know? So last one I got for this. All the new discoveries. Social media shows you so much stuff that's going on, stuff you never know about, new things. You see so much crazy stuff and you're like, eyes jump out of your head when you're looking at your phone sometimes, because you're like, wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is so cool. This is so crazy. It's so wild, whatever. But it's all new stuff and it's all new discoveries, and you learn stuff and you figure things out. And it's like, I learn all kinds of junk looking on social media. And to tell you guys the truth, I'm not really huge on social media. I love doing YouTube. I love making videos. I love watching YouTube. But as far as like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that, I'm really not crazy big on them. I use them here and there, but I do like looking at stuff on Instagram. But some of the stuff I see and some of the videos I see and little clips and, you know, little facts and all this stuff, it was mind-blowing sometimes. And it's just really cool. You learn something new every day when you're on social media, right? But having said all that, like I said earlier, it's two sides to every coin. So let's talk about the negatives, right? People get obsessed and detached from real life. All right. Now we all know that person who they live their life through social media. They look at those numbers, and those numbers just, it fuels them, and it feels like that's all they care about. And a lot of times it is. And they think their status is related to that. They think they're a better person because of that. But that doesn't make you anything. I don't care if you have 1 million followers on Instagram. Who cares? Are you a good person? Are you fun to be around? Are you cool to be around? There's a Black Mirror episode. It's got Bryce Dallas Howard in it. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a Netflix show. So if you got Netflix, you can check it out. Her life in the episode is like through an app, and it's almost like Instagram. So, but your socioeconomic status pretty much depends on your status on the app. So like the more followers you have, the more likes you get, the better overall quality of your life is going to be. It's almost like a credit score. Like I don't want to tell you the episode in case you haven't seen it, and you should check it out. But literally, like, what kind of house you want to buy depends on your score on this app. And it was like an Instagram type app. It was crazy. So people were obsessed with this thing, living their whole life through it. It was crazy. There's people who like that. All right, next one. People living in the now. People are on social media doing stuff because it's hot right now, these challenges, and they're doing OnlyFans, and they're doing all this, and the money's coming in, and all that's cool. But a lot of people don't think about some of the consequences that may come along later. People live in the now on social media, go apply for a job. It's like, hey, I saw you doing this on social media or doing that on social media. We can't hire you. That would suck, you know? And people are on there. People are on social media doing drugs, and you know, y'all, I don't have to tell you what people are doing on social media. Y'all know, all right? So people living in that moment, I want this right now, is instant gratification, yet not thinking about, oh man, what am I possibly doing to my legacy? How's this gonna affect my kids later? Who knows? So next one. People live a fake life. People live on social media a lot of time. Not everybody, obviously. Most people. This isn't most people, but there's a lot of people on there faking it till they make it. Pretending like they got money, pretending like they got cars and jewelry and women. They don't have none of this stuff. They saw a cool car parked somewhere and stood in front of it and took a picture. You know, they got lucky and snuck into some party where there happened to be some girls, and they took a quick selfie, right? People act like they live these lavish lives on there, and a lot of them don't. People make it seem like every moment of their life is just so freaking great and it's so worthy of a picture. But you know what? That's not always the case. Most of the time it's not. You know, if your life is like that, you know, some of these famous people, obviously they do have an insane life, but come on, yo. Some of these dudes you know, you went to school with, you know, they've been just selling weed forever, and they ain't out doing this stuff. Come on, man. Next one. Fast connections lead to empty ones. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times, yes, you can meet people really quickly and cool and all that, but a lot of times when you're just meeting these people, a lot of these relationships, they go nowhere. They're empty, meaningless, just some person you wasted your time and talked to for a week or two. You know, it's empty. Whereas back in the day before social media, when you made a friend, that was a friend. That was a connection. You guys are gonna invest time into each other, emotions, hanging out, all that. You know, if you met a girl back in the day in person, you had to pursue her, right? You had to pursue her. You had to court her. It wasn't no swiping. It wasn't no DMs or all that. You had to go up. You had to put your big boy pants on, grow a pair of nuts, and go talk to that chick. All right, you had to do that. So a lot of guys, man, now they can't do that because they're so spoiled by the internet. They're so spoiled by social media. They don't even know how to talk to a female in person if they see one they like. They have no clue, and that's crazy. But they form 100 empty connections with girls they swipe right with, have a conversation with for a couple days. It goes nowhere. So all these fake fast connections lead to empty ones, and it just leaves you feeling hopeless about society sometimes. But that's not really the case. It's just everyone's moving so fast. So, it's my last one. Can give relationships issues. That's what this whole video is really about, right? It's the whole video about social media, but we're talking about can it ruin relationships. We're asking the question. Yeah, it can, can it ruin it? Sure, it can be the reasons. Relationships have issues. Like, man, people meet people so quick and they see something they like, something they want, and all they gotta do is send a DM. It's just the access is just insane. This level of access wasn't happening 20 years ago. Dudes who wanted to cheat back in the day had to work for that. They had to work for that. You want to cheat back in the day, you had to earn that. Now, social media made it a lot easier for you, and not even just cheating. People get so jealous. Oh, you like this dude's picture, bro. You want to bang him? Oh, you like that girl's picture. You like her. And then people y'all already know. I don't have to tell you. So, all the ways social media has negatively impacted your relationship. But that's what I got for the negatives. All right. So, we're going to answer the question. All right. So, the answer of the day. Has social media ruined relationships? If I have to say yes or no, I'm going to say yes. All right? And the reason I'm gonna say yes if I have to pick one, because really, it's a yes or no answer. It's a give or take. It's a subjective answer. But if I have to pick a side, all right, if I have to make a definitive decision, I'm gonna go with yes. For the simple fact that I've seen it do a lot of damage to relationships, and not so much in older couples. I would say more so in younger couples, for a lot of the reasons that were stated in the research I presented to you earlier. The jealousy aspect, all right, the temptation aspect, all the quick scrolling and liking and the eyes that can go, and that goes for both men and women, because women see stuff they like too. It's not just men, all right? Women see stuff they like on there too. And having said all that, it's really, it can harm you. It can harm your relationship. Simply just because it just adds this extra thing in your relationship that could or could not be a hurdle. And for a lot of younger couples, I think it is, because they are already into this stuff. They grew up with this stuff. So social media is very personal to them. It's very ingrained in them. So with a lot of younger couples, they are all about their little social media relationship. I'm posting this picture, that picture. It can all be fake. It can all be a lie. And they try and keep up with these other couples. Just like the jealousy aspect. All the things that we talked about throughout this video. It all is the reason that social media has kind of ruined relationships. I think it's taken the authenticity out of it. I think it makes people want to pose more. I think people want to just, like, weddings nowadays, weddings back in the day meant something, right? Weddings back in the day meant something. You got married for a reason. It wasn't about the photo album. It wasn't about the dress. It was about that love. It was about that business deal that you guys are going to do this together and make this work for the rest of your life. Whereas now, people want to get married solely so they can put pictures on Instagram. It's like that was the most important part of this marriage to them. That is true. There's articles about it. Look it up. You don't believe me. All right. Social media is fun. It's awesome. It's a cool tool. But just like with every major machine that's ever gone on, that we've ever had invented, there's good and there's bad. A lot of times, the bad can outweigh the good. And I'm not saying that's the case for social media in general, but I do think it has ruined relationships, at least a little bit. All right. So, I am Dom Knight. This is Knight Talks. All right. I will be back on Wednesday with the reaction. But make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more content, okay? Help me with my goal. It is much appreciated. I will put the socials up here. All right. Be sure to follow me and make sure you share this video with your friends. I will see you next time. Peace.